It's finally ArtSnacks time! Hello and welcome back to Jenna Gets Creative. No, I haven't opened it. They've switched to putting the shipping label in this big sticky bag thing, and I always blot out my address before I put it on camera, and this time I had to rip it off, and it took enough of it off we don't have to pull out the knife. Bonus, I guess? So, as per usual, what I'm going to do, we are going to open this up. We're going to see what is in the regular tier ArtSnacks box for January 2022. And then I will hit pause. I will look up what is different about the Plus box, what the extra items are, and I will no box art box style upgrade our experience here to include those items. As close as I can, at least. I am still waiting on the December Scholar box, and the January Scholar box hasn't quite shipped yet. I will be getting the February box for both ArtSnacks and Scholar box, so there are a few more real legitimate subscription boxes in the future before we go back to my subscription hiatus. Now, I'm going to admit, while you watch me open the box here, that since this box was so late getting to me, I have seen hints of what's in it because I've been on the ArtSnacks mix, just kind of looking to see if anybody else was wondering where the box was, and I saw spoilers. Okay, either the sticker is rolled up inside here like last time, in which case it's going to be very curly, that's not very big, or they forgot the sticker. I will read you this card when we do the upgrading, so hold on for a sec, let's just react. So we have Sennelier Soft Pastels. I'm excited about this. I haven't tried this brand in Soft Pastels before, but I really want to. This is a professional quality art supply here. I love their watercolor. I've been really interested to try their pastels. We have a kneadable eraser from Prismacolor. Once again, just like the last box that I opened, I'm not actually going to use the brand new kneadable eraser. I'll use one that's already open because they get disgusting when you have them open without a case, and I don't need to open all of these extra erasers right now. Oh, yeah, very curly sticker. I'll have to try to flatten that out. So we have a mechanical pencil from Zebra. This is a 2B. Why are they always 2B? Oh, interesting. Look at that. Kind of a rectangular flat lead shape. Does sound like there's extra leads in there, which is good. Okay, we get one extra piece of lead. After that, won't be using the pencil because I'm not a mechanical pencil person. I won't be investing in lead refills. And a Sakura Micron in an 05. That's a nice size. Ooh. Hoo hoo hoo. It's gray. Awesome. Light gray by the look of it too. Yeah, that's a light gray. I love having proper waterproof fine liner pens in different colors. I wish it were a smaller size though, because the only other ones I have in light gray are the Unipin, and my light gray is also the 05, and the smaller one I have is dark gray, so that's a shame. I wish it was a smaller size, but that's okay. I'm glad to have that. Alright, let's hit pause. Let's look up what was also in the Plus box. Okay, so here's the listing for the Plus box. Fabriano toned paper pad, 8.5 by 11.75 inches. Color may vary. Okay, so some people are getting gray, some people are getting tan, some people are getting whatever. Sakura Pigma Micron pens, cool gray, set of 3. Let's read the card, and then I will read you the ArtSnacks shop listings for the missing 2 items. Sennelier Extra Soft Half-Pastels, set of 6. Retail price is $17.95 US, as per usual with all of my art boxes, be they real boxes like this or recreations like my No Box Art Box Challenge. I will have all of the prices in the description box down below. This is MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail price in US dollars. I will have that converted to Canadian dollars and pounds sterling, and I will go ahead and look for these items on major online retailers for those 3 currency regions, so places like Dick, Blick, Curry's, and Jackson's. I will tell you the real world prices, and we'll compare the MSRP total of the box to the total that you could get these for elsewhere. I will also also include what it costs to subscribe at both tiers for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, etc. And I will calculate what you save based on the MSRP total and those real-world price hunting totals. Anyway, moving on. So the Sennelier pastels. New product. Experience lush, luxurious color with Sennelier Extra Soft Half-Pastels. Composed of high-quality, pure pigment and a natural transparent binder, these pastels are bold and lightfast. Even the gentlest of strokes will deliver exceptionally bright color. Zebra MLP Squared Mechanical Pencil. Retail price is $1.91 US. With the Zebra MLP Squared Mechanical Pencil, it's hip to be square. This special pencil is unique in design, featuring an elliptical shape to prevent rolling and a large eraser. It's filled with thick 0.9mm square lead, which lets you add expressive line variation to your sketches with minimal breakage. Sakura Pigma Micron Pen Light Cool Gray. Retail price is $3.13 US. New product, staff favorite. Micron lovers rejoice! There's a brand new color of your favorite pen available now. Light Cool Gray. Made for everyday writing and sketching, the reliable Sakura Pigma Micron pen features archival waterproof ink. Prismacolor Kneaded Eraser. Retail price is $1.17 US. An essential tool when working with pastels, this kneaded eraser from Prismacolor won't wear down or leave residue behind. Use it to blot or wipe your surface, absorbing chalk dust without damaging the paper. It can also be molded into whatever shape you need for precision work. The Sakura Pigma Micron Pens Cool Gray set of 3 will also say basically the same thing. As I already mentioned, it is sizes 01, 05, and 10. The retail price for the set of 3 is $9.42 US. The paper in the plus box is the Fabriano Toned Paper Pad. Retail price is $26.20 US. Your drawings are sure to stand out on Fabriano Toned Paper. Soft yet strong, this paper is suitable for all dry techniques such as graphite, chalk, pastels, colored pencil, or pen. This big pad is filled with 50 sheets, each page weighing 120 GSM and featuring a smooth, natural surface. There are 4 different colors in this pad available: clay, moss, sand, and sea. Size 8.5 by 11.75 inches. Alright, now that Unboxing Jenna is done talking to you and reading the card and reading the information from the website for the missing items, we are going to go split screen because I would like to compare these new Sennelier pastels to the Rembrandts that I got in, I believe it was January 2019 from Scrawlrbox. And because I have them, let's also compare to my Conte à Paris soft pastels and my Faber-Castell Gold Faber soft pastels. In place of the 3-pack of cool gray microns, I will be using black pens because I don't have a full set in gray, and I'm using my Copic multiliners simply because these are the only ones where I have the correct sizes, the 0.1, the 0.5, and the 1.0, all in the same brand, in the same color. The paper I am testing on is basic Canson XL mixed media because I don't mind wasting it. For the final piece, I will be using my Strathmore Artigain paper. This is 9 by 12 inches, 60 pounds, 160 GSM. It is an acid-free, smooth, medium surface drawing paper. This stuff is thick. Like, if you know me, if you've been around my channel a while, you've heard me talk about it many times. When I'm drawing, I like to finish my sketch on another paper, finalize it, figure out what the final underdrawing is going to be, and then transfer it over to my paper. In most cases, that means pulling out my light board and tracing it. But with this paper is so thick, light can't pass through it. I have to do transfer paper method, which is interesting. So I don't know what I'm drawing over there. I don't know what you're already watching. I don't know what method I went with. Maybe I'm winging something, maybe I'm not. If you see a prepared sketch, I probably had to do transfer method. And yes, I will be cutting this down because I'm not doing a full-size piece like this just for testing out a material. I was really curious to compare these because I think that these purples are quite similar, and I think these blues will be in the same family as these two. So let's just try it out. Here's the Sennelier purple and the Rembrandt. Very, very similar. The Rembrandt's a little bit lighter. They're very similar to draw with. I would say the Sennelier is a bit softer. Definitely puts more pigment down easier. The Rembrandt feels a bit more like what I expect a traditional pastel to feel like, not a non-oil pastel. Just for the heck of it, let's put the lilac color beside it. Okay, let's compare these blues. Okay, that one feels exactly like the Rembrandts. Just that one's so creamy smooth. The dark blue, not so much. Oh, there we're creamy smooth again. Okay, different formulas feel different. Let's compare that to the Rembrandts. Yeah, they do feel like the same family of blues. It feels like these are meant to all go together as a set. By the way, this is the Desert palette from Rembrandt, and my Sennelier one is the Seascape set. Desert, sea, and yet somehow they go together. Everybody's boxes are randomized. They were randomized in the Scrawler box, they're randomized in the ArtSnacks box. Okay, so my Contes, these are more what I usually thought about when I thought non-oil pastels. They are a bit more like a stick of chalk. A bit more like a stick of chalk for the chalkboard. They're a lot drier. These are basic primaries and secondaries to blend from, so there's no purple. Not even all the secondaries, just basically primaries. There's a pink for some reason though. That looks like that in the Rembrandt set. A nice kind of ochre color. And here are my Faber-Castell soft pastels in the gold Faber line. My widest range of stick pastels. Is it a purple or a blue? Is it the same as this purple? No, not quite. Well, good to know I've got a variety. Let's compare these blues. That's almost the same color. That's very similar. These two blues. The Rembrandt and the gold Faber. Let's try to match this one out of the Sennelier. Can I? No, that's too peachy. Are we going to match this one? Nope. Similar. Very similar. What is that? That's a gray. Ooh. Okay, very gray. Will it match the gray from the Sennelier? Nope, gray from the Sennelier is lighter. Alright, well I could sit here all day and do that. I'm tempted to do a piece with all the pastels, but this is going to be messy enough as it is. I don't use pastels all that often just because of how messy it gets, but I really like the result. Here's my collection of random pastel pencils that don't belong in a full set. Rembrandt. Conte. When you're doing animal type drawings and you want to do whiskers, a white chalk pastel pencil is a great thing to have around. Not true white, it's more of like an ivory color. In the swatching part, you may have seen me just playing around with different tools to kind of blend them together. This is a tortillon, or a paper blending stump. If you don't want to get your hands too messy working with pastels, if you don't like the texture of them, you don't like how just completely filthy your hands get, using tools like this is a good idea. It's also just a good idea to press some of that loose powder in. For people who really don't like that aspect of pastels, a good option is the pan pastels if you can afford it, because then you can use a tool like this, pick it up off the pan and just paint with it. With actual stick pastels though, I find that this just lifts too much. So of course, so does the sponges. These are soft tool sponges, and they're often sold together with the pan pastels quite intentionally. But in the same vein, you can use makeup wedges, makeup sponges. These are really good if you want to lift it, but they're also good for blending it around. You can use a basic Q-tip, cotton swab. And let's play around with the putty eraser. So with a putty eraser, you're supposed to be able to lift it, lighten it, lift it completely. Lightening it is definitely easy. Roll it across the page. And it's going to pick up some of the loose pigment just because the kneadable eraser is sticky. It's not going to erase completely. This is not graphite. That's not what it's designed to do. It's really eager to pick up this Conte though. Honestly, I don't use kneadable erasers much unless I'm working in charcoal. It's quite common to use them with charcoal because you want to lighten up your work, put highlights back in. I don't really use them with pastel. I don't know why I don't. I don't know why that's a decision I've made. I think I just don't do enough pastel work in general to really know what my preferences are these days. I think that this box is definitely going to prove to have been worth it if you like working with pastels, because Sennelier is an excellent brand. This palette is beautiful. I don't know quite yet what I want to do with it. I do wish they had included a little sample size sheet of paper in the basic box, because you need specialized paper to work with pastel, honestly. It's also hard to store a pastel piece once you're done with it, unless you've got a fixative to spray on it, because pastel is always going to shed. It's always going to drop little dust particles of pigment everywhere. It's also going to fly up and get in your nose. I can already feel it in my nose, and I've only been swatching. If you don't like pastels, if you already know you don't like pastels, you're not going to appreciate the January ArtSnacks box. If you get the January ArtSnacks box, you never worked with pastels before and you find out that you hate them, I guess that's a nasty surprise. But if you like pastels, I think you will be ecstatic to get the January ArtSnacks box if you haven't already. Or just go on the ArtSnacks shop and buy these sets, because they will be selling these now that they've been in the box. Not sponsored. I paid for my own subscription. When Scrawlrbox sent the Rembrandt ones, they sent a couple of sheets of Canson Métance Touch, and that's also a toned paper, and there's a smooth variety and there's a sanded variety. What they sent was the sanded variety. I think that that's a lot better to send to work with soft pastels, because that's going to catch a lot of the pigment and not allow so much fallout. Again, really wish they had sent a little sample size. And Jenna, who has finished the project, talking to you now. You're not quite done watching me finish it, but I've finished it, and it's time for my opinions. I'm gonna stick with my statement that I do wish they had sent a paper that was more suitable for pastels for us to try. Granted, with the diameter of those sticks of pastels and the size of the box that this is sent in, it might not have been very useful anyway. They could have sent like long strip type size. I don't know, if it was more like sunset colors or whatnot, it might have been a natural piece to do just a gradient or whatever and then draw on top of it. I like the idea of pastels a lot more than I like actually working with them after I get into them. That's probably why I'm not as practiced with the material, with the medium, as I should be, considering how many of them I own. I do like them as a base to then go over with pencils, be it traditional colored pencils or pastel pencils. And you will notice me cheat. Near the end, I do bring in one of my Faber-Castell Pitt pastels in white, just to do some final little details, because I wasn't going to get those kind of details in just the pastel sticks. And artists who usually work in pastels and soft pastels, they do that. They mix between the soft pastel sticks and the chalk pastel pencils. If you're working small, that's the only way to get details. I do, once again, think that the price of this box was probably worth it, just because those Sennelier pastels are expensive, and not something I probably would have ended up splurging on for myself, given how rarely I actually pick up pastels. But given that I really like them, at least in theory, I'm glad to have them. Maybe one of these days I'll actually force myself to do a full piece, much larger. I've also got to wonder why they paired it with the pigment liners, because these are going to overpower the pigment liners when you put them over top, but you're not going to want to draw over top of the pastel with the pigment liner, because you're going to clog up the nib and ruin the pen. The only way to really go mixed media when you're working in pastel, unless you're very carefully keeping everything separate, is to use a workable fixative. Again, not something they can send in a box this size, something that you would have if you ordinarily work in pastels. And I do have it, because sometimes I do pull out my pastels or my charcoal, but I think the average person receiving this box probably doesn't have the tools to work with it. So I'm torn between, is it a good box because, wow, fancy set of Sennelier pastels that cost a lot that I wouldn't have splurged on myself, or is it a bad box because they didn't send stuff to work with them? Let me know in the comments down below. Give me your opinion on that. Be sure to come back on Friday. We are doing the Art Addicts Alliance upload for January, and we have a really fun challenge that at least half of us in the group are doing all together. There are 2 prompts. I'm not going to tell you what they are if you're not in the Discord server and don't know, because I really want it to be a surprise what Friday's video is. Next week, we're really hoping that Scrawlrbox will show up. If it doesn't, I do have a mini haul from over the holidays to do, and I plan to review something that I got in that haul. It's also been a while now since I've done a true no-box art box, but let me know in the comments down below, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to jump right back into my new review series and do another tried and true art supply in my collection? Do you want me to do something just for fun? I don't know. Let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on Friday. If you're looking for more to watch, I've got some suggestions up on the left side of the screen now. Don't forget to like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and if you like living life creatively, whatever that means to you, I'd love to have you along for the ride. Bye guys!